Welcome to the October 17th Early Release Day. Here are today's goals. First, we'll talk deadlines and review which educator effectiveness reports are due. Second, we'll review the district's goals and why curriculum maps and common assessments are so important. And finally, we'll find out what is expected of your team today and what to expect in November. Let's review the two beginning of year reports due today, your PPG and your SLO. In order to complete your PPG, you need to first complete a self-assessment using your job-specific tool. This tool is different for teachers, librarians, school psychs. Your self-assessment needs to be completed but does not need to be submitted. After reviewing your tool, you should have selected a focus that you would like to improve upon in your professional practice. Remember that your PPG is usually a personal or individual goal. Also due today is your student learning outcome. In order to complete your SLO, you needed to first collect and analyze student data. Using this data, you should have written a SMART goal statement that explains how and when you will improve student achievement for a specific focus area, and what data you will use to track growth. Your next set of data is due in January, when you'll be assessing whether or not your students are moving toward the goal you set for them. You should be keeping your SLO data on a Google spreadsheet that you and your team created. Remember that an SLO can be an individual or a team goal. A quick reminder about how Google Classroom works. If you turn in your assignment, you will not be able to edit it because Google Classroom turns it into a view-only document. However, this is not permanent. If in the future you want to edit the document, just click on Unsubmit and your editing rights will return. One of the highest impact strategies that schools can have, according to John Hattie's research, is collective teacher efficacy. However, the meaning of this impact strategy isn't immediately clear from the title. Hattie says it's more than just having confidence in our abilities. It's about working together to map out what a year's growth looks like in every subject. Here's John to tell us more.
The new number one in visible learning is teachers' collective efficacy. And on the one hand, that's exciting because it confirms the story. On the other hand, it's a bit of an unfortunate title. It kind of implies that having efficacy, having confidence, having all the teachers in the school believing they can make a difference, it's actually more than that. Now, to have a meta-analysis, you have to have lots of studies. This is not a new idea. This has been around a long time. But it's just that Rachel Ells was the one that pulled it all together to show what its combined effect was. And the message I want to get across, it is teachers working together to have appropriately high, challenging expectations of what a year's growth for a year's input looks like, fed with the evidence of impact. And that's what sustains it. It isn't just growth mindset, it's not just rah-rah thinking, it's not just, oh, we can make a difference, but it's that combined belief that it's us that causes learning. It's not the students from particular social backgrounds, it's not all the barriers out there. Because when you fundamentally believe you can make the difference, and then you feed it with the evidence you are, that is dramatically powerful.
So how do we know what a year's growth looks like, and how do we collect evidence to show that kids are meeting those expectations? The answer lies in what we've done for the last few years. Let me take you back to Rick DeFore and the 4 essential questions that we should be asking and answering in our PLCs. What do we expect kids to learn? How do we know if they've learned it? What do we do if they didn't learn it? And what do we do if they already know it? The structures that we create around DeFore's questions build our teacher collective efficacy and greatly impact student learning. So what are those structures? The first structure that all teachers and teams need are curriculum maps. These are the standards, the topics, and the common text that we use each year so that all kids, regardless of teacher, knows what a year's growth looks like. The second are common assessments. We use the data from these assessments as evidence that kids are either meeting or not meeting our expected year of growth. The third are found in classrooms and school-wide. We are using personalized and blended learning techniques in the classroom, along with school-wide interventions and enrichment to help the kids that didn't learn it or that already know it. During your PLC meetings, your teams should be setting aside time to continually review your plan or curriculum maps and the data that you collect through your common assessments. If you have time today, go into the district's curriculum map site to make sure everyone in your team knows where they are and that they are up to date. Now let's talk about today's schedule. Everyone should be in their core team meetings until 3 o'clock. The only exception are the FIA teachers who signed up for the heart rate monitor training. At 3:05, you have 3 options. You can stay with your core PLC, you can attend the seminar that you chose to sign up for at Sign Up Genius, or you will attend your second PLC team that you signed up for at the beginning of September. Because it is still new, here's a quick reminder that PLCs will end at 3:50 today, not 3:45. Please plan accordingly. Here's a reminder, today's seminar and second PLC choices and locations are found in the link that was sent to you called Medford Seminars 2018-19 and can be found under the October tab. And now for a warning. It is human nature to not worry about change until it is upon us. So let me point out that next month's calendar is different than past years. The school board, using recommendations from the staff, included a week-long spring break into this year's calendar. In order to find time for this vacation, previous vacation days were taken out. Normally, our district would have had Wednesday off for Thanksgiving. However, this year we do not. Because of this, our early release day was also moved to Wednesday. Staff are required to stay until 3:50 on the Wednesday before Thanksgiving. Before you complain, I ask you to close your eyes and think of March. Go ahead, close those eyes. March is coming. I knew you could do it. Now go out there and have a great, productive October meeting.